Hi, I just want to take a minute to real quick go over my design agreement. The design agreement is just a simple one-page document and it defines our working relationship, what I'm expecting to receive from you and what you can expect to receive from me during the course of us working together. Specifically what drawings are and are not included, how much it should cost, and basic ways to avoid it costing more. It's short and simple and for the most part self-explanatory, but I just want to also provide a few visuals. So I'm not going to read the whole thing. You obviously can do that on your own. But the first part, the scope, it is just defining what is specifically included. So visually, you can read through that, but visually I will show you that here's your elevations for all sides and your roof plan, foundation plan. If you're finishing any portion of your basement, you'll have a basement plan. And then of course first and second floor plans, and then a couple, either probably usually just one typical wall section and door and window schedules and some basic material takeoffs. Also included are some renderings along the way. Earlier ones may not even have window and doors or textures. We're looking at the geometry of the house at that point. But as we go on further, there'll be some other renderings. These are just default colors. So if you're going to have stone on your house, it's probably going to be this stone that you're seeing. Otherwise, whether it's siding or vertical, if I know you're going to do vertical siding, that's what I'll show you. But if it's horizontal siding or whatever, it's just going to be white. All the trim is going to be white. There's no specific colors at this point. They're just default. We can always customize that, but that would be at an additional expense. This is an estimate. It's not a hard quote, and it's based on what a typical job flow should be. So 1 through 5 here defines the typical job process, and sometimes a job doesn't go typical, and that's fine. I guess I just want to explain in this through these means just that if it's not going the way a typical job should go, as far as like for instance, I say that the initial layout that I create should hit 80 or 90% of your target. If I only hit 50 or 60% of your target, that's fine. We're going to get there. I'm confident that we're going to get there. I've done this 3 or 4 or 500 times, and it's really hard to say exactly how many times I've done it, but I've done it a lot, and the end result is always we've hit all your criteria and all your targets. So I'd say usually we get it right 80 or 70 or 80 or 90% that first go around, as far as making sure we're going in the right direction. But if we're not, we will definitely get there. That's the goal, and that's what I'm after. I'm after a happy customer. This section right here just talks about some things that you want to do to avoid the cost being increased. I will put your estimate here of what it should cost. Code-wise, I am not a licensed professional like an architect or an engineer is. My classification is designer, and so legally I'm not really responsible the way a builder would be responsible for making sure that the codes are meeting what's current for codes, and he's the one that's building it, and he's the one who is having code inspectors come through and getting all that signed off on, and he's overseeing his subs and all of the trades. So I'm not really, once the plans are done, I'm not involved in that process. Engineering, I may say on the drawings where the beams will go, or the footings, or the posts, but an engineer is the one that will come along and say what size those should be, and he may have some suggestions on ways to engineer it in a more cost-effective manner than what I've outlined. That'll be a separate contract between you and the engineer, and I will help to facilitate introducing you to an engineer that I feel would do a good job for you. The next section is just the liability. Basically, I'm just saying that the plans that I'm showing you are what you're paying for, and they are as is, and there's no warranty expressed or implied. I'm also saying that I would highly recommend that you have a builder involved from the onset. It really helps to keep you and I, if we're the only ones in the process, it keeps us from dreaming, so to speak, outside of the bounds of what your actual budgets are. The last couple of paragraphs, payments, I will be asking for a retainer upfront, usually equal to about a third of the estimate. And there may be some invoices sent throughout the process that are just to get us caught up for time to date, and those are always payable upon receipt. There will be a watermark on your plans near the end of the project, and that will be removed once the plans are totally paid for. All right. And then lastly, I would really like to get photographs or post renderings or drawings of your house, either on my website or on my house profile. Photographs when it's all landscaped and looking great. It might be a year after you've even moved in. My goal would be to come back, circle back, and get some great photographs at some point. And I would not be using any address or phone numbers or rather personal information, addresses or names or whatever. All that stuff would be confidential. But again, my goal is to get a 5-star review from you on Houzz at the end of the project. And so my goal throughout the process from beginning to end is to make you guys happy and to make it a pleasurable experience for you. So if there's anything if there's at any point along the way you're not feeling that's happening, just say something. I am a reasonable person, and I will do whatever I can to resolve whatever you think is not going the right way. So keep all that in mind. I'll give you specific information on how to get this back to me and how to get the retainer to me in an email. But thanks for watching, and I appreciate it.